Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Rahim Mehta bringing you another tutorial today on dark tones. Today I'll be showing you how we're going to go from this to this, before, after. So now one of the reasons I picked this particular photo is because I think it's in pretty neutral lighting. If you were to take a photo during the day that's not in direct sunlight, this is what it's going to look like more or less. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the highlights and the whites, which seem to be pretty overpowering in the shot. So I'm probably going to bring this down all the way to maybe 80. That looks good, maybe a bit more. I'm going to go to the whites. I'm going to bring them down as well. That looks fine, 76. Now, as you can see, the picture has gotten a bit on the darker side. So I'm going to bump up the exposure to maybe 42. That's okay. As you can see, the picture has gotten a bit more flat, so I'm going to add a bit more punch to it. So I'm going to reduce the blacks, make them more darker. That should be fine. Minus 60. I feel the contrast has become too strong, so I'm going to reduce it to maybe 20. That looks right for now. We're going to come down to the tone curves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to again bring down the shadows slightly. I'm going to pump up the whites a bit, and to reduce the overall contrast, I'm going to just raise the shadows a bit. So we're kind of getting there. Now we'll come down to the saturation tab in the HSL panel and stuff. So one of the first things that we have to do is remove all the pop of colors. So I'm talking about the greens, the aquas, blues, purples, magentas and stuff. So I'm going to bring them all the way down, so we remove all pops of color. As you can see, we are already getting there. You can see there's a lot of red in his skin tones, so I'm gonna reduce them to maybe minus 16. That looks okay. I'm gonna reduce a bit of orange as well. As you can see, the picture is getting a bit more flat. He looks a bit desaturated, so I'm gonna come to the hue tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up the orange to make his magenta skin a bit more. I think that's about right. As you can see, the picture looks pretty decent by now. I'm going to go to the luminance tab. I'm going to go to the orange panel and I'm going to bump it up to 22, kind of just give that pop in the skin tones. Reduce some background lighting that's too overpowering, and I think that looks okay. I'm going to come down just to give a little bit of more drama to the shot. I'm going to go to the vignetting. I will probably take it down to minus 20. That looks okay. The picture looks pretty good so far. I'm going to take the adjustment brush, just paint it over his face. You can always click this box to make sure you're selecting the right bit. That's okay. So what we can do is we can bump up the shadows a bit over here just to pop the subject out a bit, increase a little bit of whiteness, and reduce the highlights a bit. That looks okay. So what I'm going to do next is take another adjustment brush. Make sure you set all the values to 0. I'm gonna paint all around. You don't have to be really precise about it. This is just for illustration purposes anyways. That seems okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the whites a bit. Minus 11 seems fine. I'm going to bump up the clarity maybe to 31. That looks pretty good so far. Just to give it a pop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up the vibrance maybe up to 20. That looks good. If you feel the contrast is a bit too low and you want to bring it back, you can maybe turn this to minus 12. That seems so far so good, and that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything else that you would want a tutorial on, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.